Hey, what's going on, man? This is Will Z Titwell with Skybox Conversations, man, the Hoop Pod, where we talk about all things hoops, but more in particular about my favorite two teams, man, the Los Angeles Lakers, man, on a college level, the Arkansas Razorbacks, baby. We just talk about it in a different way. That's why it's called Skybox Conversations. You dig what I'm saying? Um, Man, the Lakers are number two in the West. I mean, when was the last time that the Lakers were number two in the West? That had to be like 2021, right? Where we were just like consistently winning games. Do you understand that we went on two 6 game winning streaks in the last 14 games and we only dropped those two weird games to fucking Charlotte and Utah where we just kind of lost focus. But when we locked the fuck in, we've been able to go on two 6 game winning streaks. And forgive me for sounding like Doc Rivers again. I've been coaching and yelling and yeah. Lost a tough one today by one, but that's another day for another subject for another day. But anyway, I realized that the Lakers are number two in the West, man. And I'll be honest, I didn't get to watch the game in its entirety against the Clippers on the second one. Just because, man, I was very exhausted, man, and I took some time to rest a little bit. But I did catch the end. You know, I definitely did my homework after the game and looked at the stats and all of the things, right? And so there was a couple things that it made me think of big picture, right? When you talk about the Lakers and just asking yourself, first of all, this question: are the Lakers one of the better teams and one of the best teams in the league right now? I believe so. And if you don't believe that, you either just don't want to accept it, or you don't want to accept it because I didn't say they were the best team. I arguably think they could be the best team, right? Again, you just talk about a few teams that got me like, ooh, you got to watch out for them. You got to watch out for a fully healthy Boston team. You got to watch out for a fully healthy Mavericks team. I'm not gonna lie, you catch Golden State at the wrong time, they could be dangerous too. I'm not gonna lie, but it's only a few, right? And my answer hasn't changed when it comes to like who I'm really fearing, right? Even though Cavs did give Boston a run for their money, they didn't have Drew Holiday, they didn't have Porzingis. I think that matters. Um, but Donovan Mitchell was hooping. Donovan Mitchell was hooping. Donovan Mitchell was hooping. You can't take that away from him. And he carried them over, and then Evan Mobley caught on late, right? But again, this isn't about them. This is about my Lakers being number two in the West. Um, Quick recap of the game, real quick, before I start answering some of these questions. We won 108 to 102. Kawhi was getting busy at 33 on 13 to 23 shooting, 3 for 7 from the three, 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Had a double actually with 10 rebounds. Had 3 turnovers. Norman Powell only played 9 minutes because he left with an injury apparently because he tried to come back too soon, knowing he's still hurt because he wanted to play the Lakers so bad. You just sat out forever, and now you want to come back and play, and now you hurt yourself more. You never want people to get hurt, but it's like that didn't even make sense though. You know what I'm saying? That didn't even make sense. James Harden didn't do much. We have 13 on 4 for 14 shooting, 2 for 9 from the three. We was on that shit. Chris Dunn gave you 15 on 7 for 12. Dude has really saved his career. We really held Zubac in check, man. 5 for 8 over 12 points. We've been doing really well so far with bigs, man. Very, very well. Bogdanovich gave you 12 off the bench, but he was 4 for 16. Ouch. Man, let me see. I feel like in this game, on our end, when it comes to our box, and what I did see with my own eyes, there were just times where it looked like everybody was eating. And if you look at a Luka type game, he was efficient tonight. He shot 52%, 9 for 17, 5 for 12 from the three, 6 for 9 from the free throw line. Had him 6 rebounds, had 9 assists, flirted with a triple double, 2 steals, but he did have 6 turnovers. Brun was a -5 on the plus minus tonight. 6 for 17, 1 for 6 from the three. Made all his free throws. Had 9 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, but he had 8 turnovers for 17 points. So, but I did see at the end where Bron did look a little gassed. It did look a little tired. So I think he get a pass in that regard. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been carrying us in a lot of ways, defensively, offensively, when Luka hasn't been playing great. But Luka, again, had a pretty efficient and solid game for 29 points with a plus 19 in the plus minus. But look, the crazy thing about Luka is that he still hasn't had a Luka type game yet, right? Where he just explodes. But even this is still pretty damn good, right? And led us tonight. LeBron was still a second lead. No, I'm sorry. Dalton Connect off the bench had a great game. 7 for 10, 5 for 8 from the three. Efficient. Gave you 19 points. How you get a minus 13? I'm not sure. Probably on defense because he was getting cooked. But he made up for it because he was shooting the lights out. Got 25 minutes tonight. Went from not playing much to being the third option tonight. That's tough. That's tough. Helping LeBron out because he was a little gassed and a little tired. Dorian Finney-Smith gave you 11 on 4 for 9. That's not terrible. Gabe gave you 9, 3 for 6 from the three, 3 for 10 overall though. What else? Jerry Vanderbilt gave you 8. Shake gave you 6. Gabe gave you, I said that already. Jackson Hayes gave you 6. So it was like we kind of spread the wealth around. Once you kind of got past the top 3 guys, everybody else kind of just chipped in. And I think it was that kind of win. And again, I just keep saying this about this Laker team. We find ways to win even the ugliest games. And, I don't say the Clippers is just like a big threat, so I'm not going to overreact to that win, but it was a win nonetheless, and it was a win that we needed. You know what I'm saying? So I want to answer a couple questions about it and talk about it real quick and get into it and break it down, and we'll get up out of here, man. But listen, so the first question was, how dangerous are the Lakers as the number 2 seed, and how much higher can they climb? I mean, you can't go much higher than number 1, right? But when you talk about how high can they climb overall, I think they're very dangerous. But I did hear something earlier that made a great point where he talked about how, and this was Trevor Lane. I always refer to him because I love Laker Nation. I love that platform. I always try to give love to it. I learned so much from that guy when it comes to just analytics and basketball and seeing other people's point of views. And Keith, I love his partner Keith. I love the work they do, man. So I just want to shout them out always. But he said a very good point where he talked about how you got to be very careful with the seeding. But I love what JJ said where he talked about, I really don't care. I'm not even thinking about seeding. I don't want to be in the play-in. I want to be in the playoffs and proceed to get up and leave. That lets you know that JJ is locked in on another level, right? And it is a great point still, though, you kind of want to be mindful of where you end up when you talk about being a number 2 seed. But I essentially, just because I feel like the Thunder are so far ahead in seedings, I mean, right now, like where things are, it's going to be tough to be a number 1 seed, but I think we can lock strong onto that number 1, on that number 2. I do. We're 11 games. We're about 10 and a half, 11 games behind them for first place, right? And they winning, right? We got 22 games left roughly. 23 for us. They be winning. So it's going to be hard to catch them. We talk about how much higher can you go, which I say you can't go much higher than number 1. It's going to be tough. But let's answer this next question. It's talking about, what does the Western Conference playoff picture look like if the season ended today? So if the season ended today, what would things look like? That's a great question. I want to share that with y'all so y'all can look at it with me. Okay. Get that up here. All right. Can y'all see that? Okay. So if it ended today for the West, man, we got the Lakers at number 2. So you would potentially play the Warriors. If it ended today, it is how it is, right? No play-in tournament. Like play-in tournament happened, this is how it was, right? We will be playing the Warriors. And again, I'm not worried about playing the Warriors, but the Warriors have gotten hot at the right times, and Steph Curry is always dangerous. And can't count out Steve Kerr is a pretty good coach. I mean, they don't have much size either. I think we could take them. I think we can beat them, but you have to be careful with that matchup, right? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers fell from 6 and the Warriors caught them because of how they're surging, right? It might even catch the Rockets, depending on what the Rockets do to finish out this season. I mean, they've been winning pretty good, but they could catch them, right? Just because again, the Warriors have been winning as of late. Jimmy Butler, I think in his era 7-2 since he's been a Warrior. So it's not terrible. Timberwolves are tinkering. We don't know about them, man. But just seeing that you could potentially be, but in your mind, you can see, hey, we could end up playing the Clippers, the Warriors, right? Maybe the Rockets. I would not mind the Rockets at all for a first round. I would not mind the Rockets at all in a first round matchup. I think that'll be pretty damn solid, actually, right? And I love our chances there as well. But just giving you a quick update, like what that would look like, right? If you had to choose between the Warriors, the Rockets, and the Clippers, I would prefer the Clippers or the Rockets and be able to see like the OKCs of the world, see them later on, right? See them in the finals, in the Western Conference Finals, if I can. But or even Denver, see them in the Western Conference Finals, if I can. But if we see them in the second round, I think we can still beat them. I really do, especially fully healthy. I really do, man. How impressive is that the Lakers are winning without their full squad, right? So getting that tough win tonight, or getting that close win tonight, that ugly win tonight, holding another team under 102 points or more or less, right? Our defense is impeccable, and we're really able to hang our hat on that end, even without our full team, and that's special. That's special. Um, it's special, man. It's special. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. But overall, when you talk about like how good of a sign that is, they were still able to get wins without Rui, without Austin, which cuts into our depth. It does. But I think what makes it impressive is because you know in your mind when you get ready to go into this game, you say, okay, you don't have these guys. Somebody else is gonna have to step up, right? Whether that's Dorian Finney-Smith, that's Vando. You don't have Jordan Goodwin either, right? Um, so you say it's gonna be Vando, it's gonna be Gabe, it's gonna be Dalton. Dalton, it was, especially when Bron didn't have the best game. Again, which I think just speaks to our depth. It speaks to JJ having belief in Dalton, even though he had told him the other night you might not play. Right. I think that's just a great combination of things. Dalton finding that confidence in himself again, and hopefully he can keep that going forward because he's going to need it, right? Because he gives us even more of depth and another weapon when you talk about our bench. If he can consistently get back to being that confident guy that gave us 37 in another game this year, right? Like that's who we need in order to be the most dangerous, especially playoff time. And so I think that's very impressive. It goes to the coaching, it goes to the some dudes stepping up. Again, I feel like it was a well-rounded effort. Everybody pitched in. Our bench combined for the bench combined for felt like 50 points, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be off a little. Like count that up, or excuse me, not the bench, but the outside of the main two, the role players gave us about 50 points or so. The bench itself gave us where bench points at. Fast break points, it's right. Man, show me the bench points, man. Way I felt like it was a well-rounded game, right? And it really showed again our depth, all right, and us our versatility, right? And then on the defensive end, again, being able to hold Zubac in check. Um the things that we were able to Jackson Hayes had some great minutes as the big. He's been doing the best he can. He's been doing a pretty damn good job, man. You got to give him that. We talk about which potential playoff matchup will be the toughest for the Lakers. Again, if everybody's healthy and the Mavs can climb back up in the standings, they're number 10 right now, or they can, win their play-in, which I think fully healthy they can fully do. It could be the Mavs. That's tough. Um, Denver, even though we beat them pretty damn good the last time, I still think that'll be a tough game. Yeah. OKC. Okay, let me stop playing. Like OKC is a great team, but I think we can beat them 4-2. I really do think we can beat them 4-2. You know what I'm saying? I really do. Um, but if I had to say, especially in the West, it would be tough. And then overall, the Cavs would be tough. Boston would be tough. Um, yeah, that's really it. Anybody else I think we can beat besides them four. Them four it would be tough, man. It'd be tough, but it's possible for sure. Um, Are the Lakers proving they can win with or without a traditional big man? I absolutely think they're showing that. Now, again, when you talk about playoffs, that may change. Things may be a little different because now you're preparing for the same team, bare minimum 4 times, right? So things may change. But I will say in this regular season, with what JJ has at his disposal, um, he is using those things to the best of his ability and is working. I say that. I'll say that. Right. Having Jackson Hayes at your disposal, having mine just went so blank. Jemison, right, at your disposal, having Jordan Goodwin at your disposal, having you know, like Shake Milton, right? Like this is a team you got, you know what I'm saying? This is a team you have, and you're getting everything you can out of them. And because of that, it's kind of covering up for us not having a traditional big. You see what I'm saying? A gang rebounding. You know, Luka's a great rebounder. Brun is a great rebounder, right? Dorian Finney-Smith is a great, like you're getting everything out of them in every regard to make up for those things. And I think that's what they're proving, that they can do it. But again, we talk about the playoffs, different story. But I would have confidence going into the playoffs against anybody. But I would immediately see, oh, this is going to be a problem, right? And we'll wonder how JJ would adjust. But I do think he would adjust. But you just ask yourself, will it be enough? But right now, I think yes, they are proving it, and it looks damn good. I really do. If the Lakers are even at their full potential yet, how good can this team actually be? I think ultimately they can go to the finals. I think if you get the right path to that destination, you can go to the finals. I do, because I feel like if you look at some of the past, some of these people in the last few years, they ain't really go through nobody for real. Like when Denver won, they ain't go through nobody. We weren't equipped to beat them. So I'll be honest, we weren't ready coaching wise. We weren't ready personnel wise. So that's cool. So then they went through us. Then they went through who the fuck did Denver beat that year? I don't even remember. That's how like not memorable it was. Right. I know they went through Miami in the finals. That shit was a cakewalk, right? Like I don't even remember who they went through in the West though to get there. It wasn't nobody memorable though. It wasn't no good series or nothing. And that's what I'm saying. Like that proves my point. Like they it was a cakewalk, right? So if we can get the right matchups, right? If we get a Houston the first round, right? Then you get like you know a Memphis the second round, and then you get Denver or then you get OKC. I can man, then I like our chances. I like our chances a lot, right? But again, if you got to see OKC out the gate, you got to see Denver out the gate. You got to see one of them second round. If you don't have to, you don't have to. I don't want to, right? See LA the second round. Even though I don't think the Clippers gonna win if I pass the first round. I don't think the Warriors will win past the first round, but they are dangerous. You got to respect them. But I think full potential. Play your cards right. This team can go to the finals. I do. I really, really do. And when you get there, shit, you've seen the Celtics, especially they ain't got Porzingis and they ain't got Drew or something. Then we talking for sure. But I feel like even with them, we got a chance, right? But it just depends on how Missoula gonna go about it, man, and how JJ. It's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts. But I will say at the highest peak, we can go to the finals. We can go there for sure. We can go there for sure. And last but not least, it says predict the record over the next 5 games. So we got New Orleans, we got New York, then we got Boston, then we got Brooklyn, and then we got Milwaukee. I'm going to say that over the next 5 games, we go, we go 4-1. We go 4-1. Um, Lowest I'm gonna say is 3-2. I feel like potential losses is gonna be either Boston and Milwaukee or like Boston and New York, right? I don't think we'll lose all 3 of these games. We'll lose 2 of them, though. We'll beat Brooklyn, we'll beat New York, and we'll beat one of these bare minimum. So I say 3-2 bare minimum. Um, just to see if we come back down to earth a little bit. But I wouldn't be surprised if we go 4-1. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't. So we'll see. We'll see. 4-1 is what I'm hoping. 5-0 it would be marvelous. That'd be a great road trip. That'd be a great next 5-game skid. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, man, I want to come in and answer these kind of like questions that what the Lakers are doing and what's going on around the league, what it makes you think of, and these are some of the things that I felt like um is the center of a lot of people's conversation these days, right? Are the Lakers the best team in the league? How far can they go? Is it a good sign that even though we're dealing with injuries, we're still able to win ugly games, right? Another question I think that should have been up there was, is JJ a coach of the year candidate? And he has to be, right? Because what he's doing in his first year with a 40-year-old LeBron James, the middle of a crazy trade, having to retool everything, completely unlocking Austin Reeves, no true big man, starting caliber big man, right? Helping orchestrate those trades and what's needed in his lineups. Unlocking Jordan Goodwin, like just taking what he's been given and making real masterpieces with it, right? And coaching his ass off. I think he has to be in that conversation for sure. But again, man, I just wanted to come in and answer some of them high level questions and talk about them. And break them down, man, and just have a good time. You know how much I love doing this shit, man, for sure. Be sure to like, subscribe to the channel and to this video. And until the next video, man, I love y'all so much. Peace.